Welcome to More Than a Statistic, a short video series where we break down stereotypes and figures to create understanding and respect. Our focus for this series is the LGBTQ+ community. We will learn together with curious, open minds about terminology and stigmas so we can work together to become more compassionate. We will look at societal norms that hurt this community of incredible people and figure out how to break those down. We will look at statistics and ask of ourselves how we can contribute to improving them. We will look at interpersonal violence and learn to watch for signs that someone we love may be hurting and how we can help them. We will talk about abuse because we know that when we talk about cycles of violence, we can begin to break the cycle. And finally, we will learn how we can all be advocates. Please remember there are resources as well as discussion questions on our website to better serve you and those you are learning with. Hi, I'm Jenny White. My pronouns are she or they, and it is my honor to introduce you to each of our speakers. I am the founding executive director of Trinity Haven, Indiana's first transitional housing program to focus on the needs of LGBTQ youth and young adults who are experiencing housing instability. Prior to joining Trinity Haven in 2019, I served as Vice President of Mission Impact at Coburn Place Safe Haven, a transitional housing program for survivors of interpersonal violence. I am a native of Logansport, Indiana. I am an actor at several professional and community theaters in Indianapolis. And most importantly, my favorite roles include being a mother to my non-binary child, Z, and wife to my ever-supportive love, Eve. We enjoy traveling and puttering around our house full of animal companions. I am pleased to introduce you to Zoe O'Haillin-Berne. She is the Director of Engagement for Indiana Youth Group, a safe space for LGBTQ+ youth that provides programming and magnifies their voices. As a transgender woman, she uses her voice and platform to advocate for transgender, non-binary, and gender-diverse individuals. She also uses her personal experiences and perspective to educate others on the unique struggles faced by gender-expansive people. Zoe is going to explain terminology and pronouns, as well as break down myths, stigmas, and stereotypes. We are grateful to have her here. Welcome, Zoe.
Hello, I am Zoe O'Haillin-Berne. My pronouns are she, her, and I am the Director of Engagement for Indiana Youth Group, an Indianapolis-based nonprofit organization that empowers and supports LGBTQ+ young people. Today, I would like to discuss some of the most common LGBTQ+ terminology. Before I begin, it is important to know that the community is not monolithic. Not everyone uses the same terminology or acronyms to discuss the community or describe themselves. For example, the acronym used to describe the population can fluctuate greatly. You may hear LGBT, GLBT, LGBTQ, LGBTQIA, or a plethora of other variants. Currently, LGBTQ+ and LGBT+ are the two most common versions of the acronym you'll see in here. To quickly break this down, L is for lesbian, G for gay, B for bisexual, T for transgender, Q for queer, and the plus to represent the expansive nature of the gender and sexuality spectrums and account for anyone not previously named. When I or A are present, they stand for intersex and asexual respectively. In recent years, the term queer has also been gaining traction and, in many cases, has begun replacing the acronym. Now, I know many hear this term and take it negatively. Though this term was once used as a slur or a put-down, and sometimes still is, many in our community have reclaimed it and see it as an inclusive and expansive term that encompasses all who identify as part of the community. While the acronyms punctuate the different subsections of the community, often to the exclusion of many who do not fit neatly within those labels, queer acts as a unifying umbrella that demonstrates our unity as a community. This term encompasses all who identify outside the gender binary or whose sexuality is not exclusively heterosexual. If ever you are in doubt about which term to use, you can always ask for consensus from the company you are in, or simply go with the safe bet of LGBTQ+. I know a lot of the terms I use may seem foreign to some, so I want to try and break those down for you quickly. A transgender individual is someone whose personal gender identity does not align with the sex they were assigned at birth. Sex assigned at birth is defined through observable information such as genitals, hormone levels, and genetics, though science now supports that chromosomes in biology are not nearly as black and white as they were once thought to be. Some individuals may show physical or chromosomal characteristics associated with both male and female biology. These individuals are known as intersex. Outside of physiology, we have gender. This is one's personal identity or understanding of themselves. As a cognitive and emotional part of one's being, gender is not intrinsically linked to the sex one is assigned at birth. Someone may be assigned male at birth but identify as a woman, or vice versa. This is a transgender person. Some individuals do not identify as wholly or exclusively male or female. These individuals are known as non-binary, gender diverse, or genderqueer. There are even individuals who identify as agender, or lacking gender. And gender expression is yet another aspect of oneself. Specifically, a gender expression is how a person chooses to showcase their gender identity to the world. This may happen through appearance, clothing, personality, language, and so on. Now that we've discussed the terminology used to describe the community as a whole, let's take a quick look at pronouns. Now, pronouns have been a hot topic the last several years. However, they are an integral part of language that has been used for centuries. Everyone has pronouns. They are the little words that people use to quickly describe themselves or others without the use of a name. There are reflexive pronouns that we use to describe ourselves, I, me, mine. Then there are the pronouns we use to describe others. The most common are he, him, his, and she, her, hers. There are also neopronouns used by individuals who are non-binary, gender expansive, or genderqueer. Two such examples are sie, them, zir, and sie, hier, hers. The variety of neopronouns continues to grow as people find new and unique ways to describe or identify themselves. This is a long-standing tradition in language that goes way back to the 18th century. Pronoun use outside of he and she are not as new as people might think. This also brings us to the pronoun uses of they, them, and theirs, which can be plural or singular. Many non-binary people choose to utilize these pronouns due to a long-standing precedence of using them in a singular, non-gendered context. This goes all the way back to the 14th century, and William Shakespeare is famously used as an example of a writer who utilized the singular they pronoun regularly. It is important to remember that pronouns are intrinsically linked to one's gender identity, not the sex they were assigned at birth. Therefore, like gender, pronouns are subjective to each person, and it's up to them and no one else to determine what their true pronouns are. Therefore, we should generally avoid using preferred when talking about someone's pronouns, because they are not a preference. They are that person's pronouns, and not up to anyone else to question or disuse. Of course, there may be exceptions to that rule. For example, an individual may use both they, them, theirs, and he, him, his pronouns. But if they prefer they, them, theirs, that's their preferred pronouns. When in doubt, simply ask. Asking for one's pronouns should be as easy and commonplace as asking for one's name. Asking about one's identifying language regarding the community and themselves is a simple and effective way to show compassion and respect. Of course, gender and sexuality are complex. There are many more important and integral terms that I simply do not have the time to discuss in this video. If you are interested in learning more about the LGBTQ+ community and building cultural competency, I welcome you to visit us online at indianayouthgroup.org to learn more about the cultural competency training and services we offer.